it's interesting because like in order for us to even exist on this planet, there has to be a loving relationship between a man and a woman. So I don't understand what the chaos is all about. Why is it so difficult for us to be able to have the conversation and be loving towards one another and, it be something that is easy to talk about? But it seemed like a very controversial conversation lately that, the man and the woman role has become confusing. But to me, it's not, you know what I mean? Because the question is, how do we resolve conflict? I mean, I know how well we are when everything is good, baby.
Yeah.
But what happens when something goes wrong? Can you make me better when something goes wrong? Can we find a way to figure out how to advance each other when things go wrong? We plan for everything, but we don't plan for our relationships. Like, we don't have a real plan for that. You know what I mean? Like, we got a business plan. We got a career plan on what we want to do, how we want to accomplish it. But then when it comes to your family dynamics, because some of us have, like, I'm guilty.
Peace and blessings, peace and love, family. We on another episode of Free Game Fridays, the podcast, and you already know what Free Game Fridays is about. If you don't know, let me tell you. So I started this Free Game Fridays in January of 2024, so the top of the year, and I just wanted to just drop gems on people that look like me. So on Free Game Fridays, we have no agenda other than just dropping gems, dropping game. And game is just going to be insight. It's insight on relationships, insight on business, insight on passive income, insight on everything. And so today, I am joined by my best friend, man, Demetrius Early. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. You truly are my best friend, my man. 20 years in the game now, man.
Yes, my guy. So, man, listen, we be having conversations, man, that we wish that we can record. And so we doing just that. We said, you know what, let's get on my podcast and let's just have a regular conversation like we always have, and we'll just pick some subjects and then we'll just go. And so we're going to start off with talking about how, successful men, because the thing is, both of us get these type of questions all the time. Like, what do successful men want? What's your plight in life? What's your goal? And so let's kind of talk about, how you see your legacy, how, your road to greatness. You've accomplished a lot.
Well, I'm going to tell you, man, I'm excited to be here for one. And number two, I'm proud of what you're doing. So I want to give you,
thank you, brother.
The flower while you're here.
There it is.
You're doing some great work, man. And I'm honored to be here. I think that the kind of man that I am, the things that I've gone through, I think the struggles are what makes us who we are, and how we respond to them dictates the results. So for me, it's all about having relationships with people who can bring out the best version of myself. But I can't leave out the people that give me opposition, because opposition to me is opportunity.
There you go.
So I think that everything that happens in life, the tests, the trials, the tribulations, the joys, the happiness, the pleasures of life, I think that they're all beautiful in their own right, because you can't have one without the other.
Right.
So I don't look at things that happened to me that was bad, or the result ended up being bad, as it being bad in totality, because if I'm still here, I got a chance to learn from it and grow through it and grow from it. You know what I mean? So like for me, it's all about growth.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So let's talk about that. So in your journey, how old are you?
51.
So 51 years old. What does your legacy look like? When it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy to look like?
So, I think that having a spiritual bond with God, having the ability to be able to have a great relationship with your family, and having the ability to be strong physically and financially are the four pillars to my legacy. If I can actually impart that into the people that God sent into my path and leave those areas strong with a smart and intelligent foundation that can be built upon after I'm gone.
Yeah.
That, to me, particularly, is the reason why God put me here, is to impact every life that he entrusted me to be a part of.
I love that.
So, or even the encounters of life, the little small things that we don't even look at as big, just being able to encounter, just being a blessing to someone that just may need a hello or a hug or just a encouraging word. You know what I mean? I think that we are responsible to be able to leave an impact on our community as well.
Yeah. So let's go back, and you talked about, being strong and having a sense of family and having a sense of a legacy to where, your kids can continue to pass down this legacy. How important is a woman to that legacy?
Oh, she's vital. I think that it's interesting because like I'm always talking about love. I'm born on Valentine's Day, so I'm really big on love. But it's interesting because like in order for us to even exist on this planet, there has to be a loving relationship between a man and a woman. So I don't understand what the chaos is all about. Why is it so difficult for us to be able to have the conversation and be loving towards one another, and it be something that is easy to talk about? But it seemed like a very controversial conversation lately that, the man and the woman role has become confusing. But to me, it's not. You know what I mean? I think that, I'm an alpha male, masculine man, and I don't really welcome that when it comes to my woman.
Yeah.
That's the one area
you don't welcome what's that? Masculine?
I don't need masculine.
You're masculine.
I'm masculine. I don't need that.
Right.
I need her to be feminine. I need her to be strong, but not agree with everything I say. But I would love for her to be in agreement with most of the things that I say.
Wouldn't you?
But I also want her to challenge me too.
But do you know how to lead?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which I know the answer to that.
I'm a man that I get up early in the morning before everybody else so I can figure out I'm observe what I didn't do better yesterday so I can do better today. I'm someone who always is seeking what is seeking me. I understand that principle. So I'm always putting out good energy so I can get it back in return. I'm always putting a plan together that can make me successful. And I'm always making sure I keep myself strong and being able to be the best performer, because I always believe in, being number one. I don't really subscribe to number two. But I understand that there's someone always better than you in certain areas in life, and sometimes number two is not the bad place to be. Okay. But I ain't going to number three. We ain't doing number three.
So now you moved it to number three. You ain't going number three.
No, we ain't doing.
You want to be number one. You made number two in certain circumstances.
Yeah, I'm gonna attract great people. So somebody's gonna be better than me in certain areas, but number one gonna be hard for you to say. I feel like I beat him. No, I felt like I kind of fought him a little bit, but I didn't quite beat him. But I know I was in a good fight. You know what I mean? So for me, I think that's healthy. To have great people around you and to have a woman in your life that can challenge you to be a greater person. But in that area of intimacy, being able to be in an intimate relationship, I think that's the area where I don't want to be fought or pushed back on too much. That's the one area where I want to always be the man and be, even the ego side of me wants to be stroked by his woman.
Okay.
And I want her to believe the best about me in all those areas. So, I have to behave a certain way to be able to attract that or get that from her. And I have to be a man that is able to lead and direct to give her something to help me do. So I understand those different dynamics that a lot of people are trying to figure out in relationships. Because the question is, how do we resolve conflict? I know how well we are when everything is good, baby. Yeah. But what happens when something goes wrong? Can you make me better when something goes wrong? Can we find a way to figure out how to advance each other when things go wrong?
Yeah, that's very important, bro. That's very important because it's what songs say? Can you stand the rain?
Can you stand the rain?
Can you stand the rain?
Yes, sir.
Storms will come. So this we know for sure.
Right.
And so at the end of the day, yeah, man. You got to judge a woman based off of how she move when the chips look like they're down, or when things are looking or appearing to be against y'all, or there's just a situation. I know a lot of females they're down for the trips, they're down for the money, they're down for the out to eat and the riding around in your nice fancy cars, but when it comes time for a conflict, they can't take accountability.
Right.
So let's talk about that. I think that women these days, they lack accountability. They feel like they can do whatever they want, and they just bat and just, I'm sorry, or don't even say they're sorry sometimes. They would just kind of overtalk the situation, or shit, they gonna fuck the shit out you in the bed. Right. And they think that that's okay.
Well, I think it's a matter of how they was taught. Like a lot of times, we're not talking about every woman, but we're talking about majority of some of the women we've experienced. Some of them are more physical and entitled.
Well, we're talking about the masculine women, because you said you need a feminine woman, you don't need the masculine. So in that same vein, Yeah, we're not. So you got, ladies, don't beat us up. We're not talking about all ladies. There are some healthy ladies out here that can take accountability and that sort of thing. But majority of women that kind of got this masculinity part of them.
Let's speak to them.
Yeah, we speaking to them.
Okay.
So, accountability.
Right.
You think that they lack accountability because of why?
Well, it's been said. It's a very popular thing for people to say that, the responsible thing for a household is all falls on the man. We take that role as being the head and being the leader, they say. But a lot of times, that is relevant. We are responsible to be the head and be the lead, but we can't force someone to follow us either. So I think that there's a very thin line, a silver lining between, following the man and, taking responsibility for not following the man.
Yeah.
And then, it being about when things go wrong, it's his fault, right? Always is his fault. He steps up and says, okay, I got this, baby. It's on me. I got this. But then she's like, well, really in reality, it wasn't his fault. It really was hers. But because he's the man, he's the head, he takes responsibility a lot of times for things that he shouldn't. So I think that that's something that I've experienced in my own relationships in life, where I've taken the hit, and just being the lead and being the head. If it happens in my household, it's on me. If something is short, it's on me. But
I feel like that's bullshit, though.
It is.
I feel like that's bullshit.
It was a misrepresentation of what the head looks
religion
like.
have you thinking
Absolutely.
like that, bro. Religion.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that's not true. You the head of the house, and so if everything's fucked up in the house, it's your fault.
Right.
Let me tell you how I run my house. So, basically, I feel like at the end of the day, ultimately, everything that goes on in my house is a reflection of me. But I also understand that I'm on a team. And whenever you have a team, you may have a spokesperson that speak for the team and take responsibility for the team. But that's only the spokesperson part of me. The other part of me is saying, hey, listen, you need to get this shit together.
Right.
All right. Now, we in this situation. I ain't going to let nobody know that we're in this situation because of you. But goddamn it, it's because of your ass.
Right.
The same thing as me and you. Me and you best friends. So we get into some shit. Yeah, man, I ain't even asking no questions. I'm going to defend you. I'm putting hands on whoever.
Right. It's going down right
then I'm like, bro, why you giving me this shit? Now these people, we got to get into it with them. And then now they got some people. And then, man.
Now we got to get the house in order.
Right.
Come up with a game plan.
But
that it was my fault.
That it was your fault. You need to take accountability for it. That's what I'm talking about. Now, I'm not saying that I will let the masses know, the general public know, man, my wife over here fucking up, bro. Little bro over here, man, my best friend over here fucked all this shit up. I probably won't, that won't come out of my mouth, but
Not
with
publicly.
you,
but with
and in our inner circle.
You're going to get it.
Right. But the public will never get that. I feel like my woman, man, I want her to have everything that she wants and more. But when it come time for me, I want the same thing. So it's a two-way street. And I don't think that that's spoiling to the point of a negative connotation. I think that that's providing and accommodating for your woman. Would you agree with that?
I want the same thing for my woman. I want her to have the best of everything in life. I want her to experience the highest level of, royalty. I'm on a whole other level with it now. I'm in my 50s now, so I'm looking at life a little bit different from what I did in my 30s. You know what I mean? And so I believe that we should exude excellence in everything that we do. So how I treat my woman is a direct reflection on how I see God, like how I see myself, because she's the prize. She's the thing that I can look at and say, I can treat you based on how God has given me and blessed me. I can treat you the way that he wants me to treat you. And so I think that a lot of times, though, it's kind of misrepresented, because the man that does that and that really believes that and does all he can to prove that to you, a lot of times some women I've noticed are not really open to that, because they've been so distrusted. There's been so much distrust in their life. It's hard for them to receive a brother from that perspective. Like, no, you up to something? You trying? No, I'm not up to nothing, baby. I just want you to have the best. I want to give you the best version of myself, and even the things that I've done wrong in past relationships, I want to expound on that and grow from that as well, and be even better now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So give me a chance to be great.
Yeah,
let me treat you great.
A lot of women can't experience love because they don't know how it feels to receive love. They want to be the victim. They want to give love, but they don't want to receive it. There's a song out, and I forget who the artist is, but they say that exact things. You know how to give love, but you don't know how to take love.
Right.
And that's an issue because here it is, you got a man that's on the other side saying, listen, I want to make all of your crooked places straight. I want to go before you and make sure I throw my jacket over water puddles and everything so that you can just be in a blissful life. You could be in a bubble because you're my woman. And then the woman is like, nah, he up to something. I don't know, girl. Watch him.
or she called a girlfriend who, don't know how to receive that.
Right. And they start talking.
She's going to give you the real, other version of, girl, he might be trying to do this, and they're going to come with all kind of list of things.
It's unfortunate.
Yes,
and so the question becomes, you have to ask women, what do you bring to that man besides your degrees, your money, your pussy? And
those that could be some hard questions right there.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like, don't tell me, how good sex is with you. None of that, because you can get that. You can pay for that. You can get that when you can't get nothing else. Your money is your money. Your degree is your degree. What else do you bring? So, I judge a woman by her energy, because you got to understand, man, when a woman open her legs to you, let's just be real. You enter her world. You enter her womb. You enter her world. And so I'm going to feed off your energy before we even get to that point, because I want to know what's going on in your world, bro.
Right.
What's going on in your world? Right. At the end of the day, you look beautiful. You just like I like it. But at the same time, what else is going on in your world? Are you chaotic? Because soon as I have sex with you, soon as I let down my guard and I'm intimate with you, then now I'm sucked into whatever it is that you got going on, whether I know it or whether I don't.
Well, I think that the reality of a man becoming the man and choosing the woman, I think, is a very complicated thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think that it's based on our upbringing, what we were taught, right? And then it also is based on our experiences, what we become. Because even though I may have been taught something wrong, I may have experienced some things that made me realize that was wrong. Now I want to get it right.
But at 51, because that's how you came, that's what you saw in your household. So that was in your early 20s,
right,
your 30s. So eventually you get out of that. So at 51 years old, what are you looking for in a woman now?
I mean, that is a very simple question.
Yeah, there you go.
Now.
At first, you said it was confusing. Yeah.
Now it's very simple.
Yeah.
I value peace now.
There you go.
What I mean? And so to be able to peace. I'm a hopeless romantic. You know what I mean? Like I believe in fairy tale love. I believe in the things that are very touching and very, that are very sentiment. You know what I mean? I'm a very sentimental person.
Yeah. So I was the best man in his wedding, his last marriage. And man, this dude here, I wish we got to find a clip and we're going to put it up. This guy went viral on Facebook. You want to show that clip?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll show that clip. But this guy went viral on Facebook, guys, for doing choreography. Go ahead and just tell him.
I did a Can You Stand the Rain performance.
Yeah. He had backup dancers, everything. They had umbrellas. Yeah.
Put them together in 1 week, by the way.
Wow, man. It was like, wait till y'all looking at it. Y'all see this? Like, it's crazy, right? I think they even had artificial rain. But yeah, so hopeless romantic. So you want somebody who's gonna give you peace. You want a woman who's gonna touch that need of you being a hopeless romantic.
Right, it's gonna be able to appreciate it. Like ultimately, most of us men just really want to be appreciated, ladies. Let me just tell you the secret to the key to the foundation of all of us. While we trying to make all these different, dynamics, it's really, really simple. We just want to be appreciated and encouraged, right, to be the greater version of who we are. And your words are so powerful. And they're so, to us, everything we do it for you. You know what I mean? So when you speak, if you speak with the mind knowing that, whatever I say to this man, he's gonna actually, give it back to me because he's really doing this for me. And so, when you understand your power, it ain't nothing we won't do for you.
Wow.
And so we need someone that's gonna speak life and not speak the other stuff.
Yeah.
That's what's important to us.
I love that, man. I love that. Man, that was a preacher moment, bro. Cheers. Cheers to that.
Just appreciate me, man.
Yes, sir.
Maybe just
Preach,
believe in
tabernacle.
it,
That was good. And so, ladies, what you have to understand is that men study women. And when I'm talking about, we know what to dress like, we know how to smell, we know what cars to drive to make you like us, we know what to say. Like at probably about 11 to 13 years old, we've been studying y'all. Y'all got to do the same thing for a man if you want that love. All right. So most women study other women. They know what kind of shoes this woman got on, how much they cost, where they had to get them from. If they in and out of season, they know the wig. I mean, I love sitting back at a bar and people watching. So I'm on a date and I'm like, hey, babes, look at that ass. We look at ass together. We look at bodies together. And I can't tell you.
That's a good dream to have, you know.
Absolutely. And so, man, I'm not gonna be able to date you if we can't look at ass together. Like, I'm not going nowhere, man. I'm coming home with you, but goddamn, there's so many different.
You want
women.
her to look at ass with you? That's what you want.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, you know, we ain't.
You want to say, baby, let's go look at some ass today.
I'm not saying it like that. But if somebody passed by looking good, I don't want to have to discreetly look. I want to be like, babe, look, damn. Do you think that's a real ass or not? She gonna know before I know. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Okay. Women be studying other women. So you're not
looking at the ass to admire the ass as much as you're looking at the ass just identified as an ass.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And so and so yeah, getting back to my point, ladies. At the end of the day, y'all know if a woman's ass is fake, if got a boob job, if it's a lace front or a wig or whatever, a frontal, whatever they call it, y'all know all that type of stuff. But you have to put forth that same effort into a man and say, what makes him feel like more of a man? What makes him feel supported? What makes him feel like, although I'm going to take part in this legacy he's building, what's going to make him want to share it with me? So you got to be able to love on a man where a man say, hey, listen, we'll work hard for you. Like a woman too. A woman is one of the greatest assets that a man can have, but it's vice versa. A man is one of the greatest assets that a woman can have, but you have to know how to handle a man. And so at the end of the day, you got to study men just like we study y'all. You know, y'all study.
I thought you was something. Honestly, I'm joking about the ass comment, but I can't get past it for a second.
Okay, we're going back to the ass.
I'm thinking that the reason why you're saying that is because you really want to be with your best friend. And you want to use that as an example to where y'all can talk about anything.
That is what I'm saying. I wasn't saying that in that moment. I was talking about, I was using that for studying, how I was using that as proof. Like, man, y'all study a woman's body but can't study a man's, whatever. But no, that is another thing too. Yeah, I can't date. I did say that too. I said, man, I can't date somebody who, I can't turn around and look at somebody who look good.
You want to be able to be yourself. You want to be real and be able to be yourself and be authentic. And then,
Yeah, I ain't trying to.
And if the trust is where it's supposed to be, I should be able to do that without, feeling like I can't say what I want to say or feel how I want to feel about a situation without doing it in front of you, where you can actually help me understand it better and be an asset to that conversation instead of being a hindrance to it by bringing up something that you've been through somewhere else and put it on me because that's what it meant to you then versus how you mean to me now.
Right.
That makes sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. So, all right, we're going to play a little game.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a question. You just give me kind of like a short answer. Would you prefer a queen or a princess?
Both.
Okay, why?
Because the queen is the woman that demands a certain level of prestige and honor and respect, which a king should always want that in his woman. Mm-hmm. But a princess is someone who knows how to be submissive when the mentor shows up to help her correct, being a better queen to the king.
Okay, I like that. Yeah. All right, and I was at Grant Cardone's 10X Growth Con. Mm-hmm. I was at Grant Cardone's 10X Growth Con, and Elena Cardone, his wife, she spoke, and she said something that was real important. She said, "Man, listen, women, y'all can't be a bitch. You got to be a queen. A lot of y'all want to be bitches because y'all will sit back and just and not grow the kingdom but complain. Mm-hmm. But a queen,
she working.
Is gonna run an empire.
She working.
Yeah, and that queen also knows how to lead and also knows how to follow, where a bitch don't.
Absolutely.
Period.
So that's why I say both. I'm glad I.
So what's your definition of a bitch?
Well, I never thought about that before.
Okay.
I think that that the term is utilized to speak of a spirit that is not respectful,
Yeah.
it's not honorable, and it is not faithful. You know what I mean? It's all the negative things that we don't need in our relationships
Okay.
coming
like
from
that.
our female
I like that. All right.
person. You know?
All right. Next. How do you spoil your women?
So this is the thing, like, right? So the question is asked all the time.
Okay.
Like, what do you like to do? I'm like, I like to do everything. Like, baby, if it's something that you want to do and it's gonna make you smile and make you happy, if my goal in life is to make sure you're good, then I'm gonna fall in love with what you fall in love with. Like, I'm gonna love whatever you do. So I like to spoil my woman by allowing her to be the original version of herself and invest into the things that she loved doing by loving doing it myself with her. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't think that we should have that dynamic where I'm a morning person. I'm a morning person too. Like, you know, I'm a night person. I'm a night person too. Like, whenever you want to go somewhere, I want to be there with you. If I'm going to be there with you and support you in whatever it is you want to do, then I think that's what spoiling a woman really does, is just really being able to ignite and enhance what she enjoys doing with me.
So what's your ideal date?
Ideal date. So we start off in the morning time in Miami, Florida on the beach.
Okay.
Then we get on the plane and we fly to New York and have some type of donut or something in a busy street. Then we get back on the plane and go in the evening time back in H-Town at Toulouse or either Mastro's.
Okay. Doing what?
Having dinner, smoking a cigar after, sipping on something.
I love that.
And, you know, just having a good time.
So your ideal date involves private planes and helicopters.
Absolutely. That's that 51 now.
Right.
Like you'd ask my 30-year-old self, it was different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
30-year-old self would be like, man, play some R. Kelly, TP2.com. There's some hen.
Yeah.
Let me get some massage.
Let's go to a party. Let's go hang out for a minute.
Yeah.
And then, you know, in my 40s, I became more spiritual. You know what I mean? I wanted to correct the things that I didn't do right in my 20s and 30s and then kind of, you know, figure out a way to become the best father and be more responsible in my community by being a guy that can be an asset to people who were trying to figure things out that I hadn't already figured out.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're going to come back to that. Go back to the first day we met. Because we met and we were in our 20s, right?
Yes.
Or you was in your 30s?
I was 29, you was 23.
Okay. Yeah. And so you just talked about 30s and 40s. But yeah, so first time we met, let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I had just moved to Houston. I had tried out for this team and it didn't work out for me. And I ended up just deciding to become my own businessman at the time. You know, I was like, man, I thought Houston was going to be country. You know, when you're not from Texas,
you seeing Texas on TV, you think we riding around?
You think it's all, you know,
they think we riding around with cowboy boots and
I got it. I was like, man,
we riding on foes and in foreign cars.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with that. I was really fascinated.
What year was that?
That was 2001.
Okay.
And I was very fascinated by this place. And I was like, well, God, you didn't bring me here to not succeed. So I'm gonna stay. So I stayed in Houston, man, and I loved it, man. I love to see how my culture was working together and how we were living on levels that where I'm from, it wasn't so prevalent. Like, you know, it was just kind of like different where I was from. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana, so it's like different where I'm from. But to see so many of us doing so well, that was like really fascinating to me. And I decided this is where I'm gonna be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I met you when I first got here. Like I met you like months later. I was
like a couple months or like 6 months?
It was about a year later.
Okay.
About a year later, I was going through transitioning to my business from being a salesperson in my own deal to getting involved in real estate investing. So I felt like I was ready. You know what I mean? I wanted something more purposeful to do. And so when I started my journey to learning about real estate, you know, I ran across you in a property in Siena, and I found out you lived over there. And I was like, how old are you, bro? He's like, I'm 23. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to pass you, bro. I got to up my game. I actually thought I was doing good. I was living in a $250,000 house at the time. And thought that was decent, you know what I mean?
Which is.
But no, I mean, not for a 23-year-old to be living in a $500,000 house.
Well, you know what? And
that I mean, I'm just from a male's perspective, you my partner, you my dude.
Yeah.
But what like? Come on, man! Like I got to step my game up. You know.
But that's friendly. That's friendly competition, though. I love it because then fast forward, I think my 36th birthday or something like that. My girl, ex-girlfriend, she was throwing me a birthday dinner, and she
Right.
had all of my close friends, and they came, and you spoke.
Right.
She had everybody go around the table and just speak to me for my birthday, and
Right.
and I never knew, but you said, man, you was like, you are the reason why you made me a millionaire, and I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah,
So
you
finish
inspire
that.
me. I'm like 23 years old. He living in a house costs double the amount of the home that I own. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, I got to step up. Like, this ain't enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean,
That's
we
friendly
inspired each
competition.
other to be
Yeah.
greater people and do greater things and supported each other in that.
Yeah.
That's the reason why our friendship has
Collaboration
lasted so
over
long.
competition.
Because we've always been able to support each other, even in our, sometimes being a competitive mindset. It was always
Right.
a friendly competitive mindset to
Yeah.
be able to see each other do better.
Yeah.
Like even when, I need to do something over here, you was like, man, I did that already, but hey man, because you're doing it again, let me help you do that better.
Yeah, yeah.
This is what I learned. So we always have been
Man, it's
to
all
invest
love,
in each
man.
other, man. Yeah,
all
I love
love.
that
Yeah,
about you.
yeah. I mean, I love that collaboration over competition has been a thing in my life before it was even a catchphrase.
Absolutely.
And so it's always, but I'm
It's
always
really the
wanna
key
help.
to all relationships.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you learn to collaborate and be more about the person, like I think that love is defined as you doing what is best for the other person and denying yourself. But I don't think you have to deny yourself to love somebody that you
No.
really love. I think that what you can do is love someone and respect the fact that it's a beautiful thing when they love you in return.
Right.
And I think that means that I'm gonna do all I can to make sure that you're good, and you're gonna do all you can to make sure that I'm good.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna switch that. I used to say that too, but a more profound way, not to disagree with
Come
you,
on with it.
but a more profound way. I heard Jim Rohn say it. It's not my own quote, so I won't take credit for it. But he says that, and I did almost say this. So I don't know. I'm not gonna take credit for
Come
it
on
because I
with
didn't
it.
say it. But I said this in a different way. But I like the way he said it. So shout out to Jim Rohn. He said that I'm gonna work on myself for you, and you work on yourself for me. And so that's what I always believed in. In any relationship I got in, I wanted to be with somebody who was whole. Don't depend on me to be your happiness, but be in association with me and let's be happy together. That's a difference. If I'm leaning on you and saying whatever mood that you're in will dictate how I feel and how I feel about myself, then that's poison. That's too much, that's too much pressure. But if I'm saying I feel great and I would love to feel great with you, what you got going on? Can we go jump on the yacht today? Can we eat charcuterie board on the Pacific Ocean tomorrow? Can we fly out there? Like I'm already I'm gonna do that anyways by myself.
So what I'm saying is that when I say that I'm doing what it takes for me to do what I can for you, it's not.
You're saying the same thing I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm saying the same thing you're saying.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I didn't disagree. I was putting something on it and saying it a different way.
It's just I think that if we truly love someone, that we want to see the best out of that someone. We want to give the best of that someone.
But here's, if you truly love yourself, then you're gonna want to see the best in everyone. And so you serve everyone by serving yourself first.
I can agree with that too.
And that's crazy. You couldn't tell me this before, I got in my 40s. I thought that I was like Jesus. I wanted to sacrifice myself for everyone because I knew the way, and I grew up as the oldest of everybody, the oldest child in the house, the oldest grandkid.
I was the oldest grandchild. I was the first grandchild and first child.
Yeah. The one that made it out the hood first,
Yep,
that sort of
me too.
thing. Wow. So it's embedded in you to have that
Leadership
pressure on you without
wanna take
knowing
care
it's
of everybody
pressure,
else.
but not even knowing it's pressure. Then you get to the point where you get wiser and you're saying, well, listen, I
about
need to
me?
work on myself because the level that I've gotten to, nobody could even help me.
Yeah.
See, there was levels in life that I was on that I had big bros in. There's people be like, man, I can show you how to do this. Now the level I'm on, man, I have to draw inspiration from multimillionaires and billionaires that I don't know. And so that's when I said, well, you know what? Well, let me go and let me work on myself. And so that's really what it's about. If you work on yourself and you become 10 times better, and then I'm in relationship with you, partnership with you, and I'm working 10 times on myself, man, our corporation is gonna go hard.
Well, we're doing it now.
Right.
And we've been doing it like it's not even in the same room. We're doing it in separate rooms right now.
Yeah.
So we can incorporate building a whole city. You know
Well,
what I
that's
mean?
what two whole people do.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm whole, then that's my world over here. You got your world over there, and then we'll figure out how we're gonna come back together. And so at the end of the day, that's really what it's about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So spiritual, emotional,
Mm-hmm.
physically, and financially. I think that those are the dynamics that a lot of us are trying to figure out how to create the balance that we need to be the best version of ourselves in these different areas of our lives. And then how we coexist that with the people that we love the most.
Yeah.
Because you got to understand, like, it ain't just cookie cutter. Like, nobody has the same formula.
Right.
And every formula don't work for everybody.
But you know what? I would say that although the formula can't ever be the same from one person to the next, the foundational step, I think, can be the same. And I think that the first point you made is spirituality.
Right.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, your relationship with yourself and God is like really important
That's
on
key.
how you see life.
Yeah.
Like the lenses that you look through, like it's very vital to how you solve problems and how you deal with
Like,
problems,
right.
or if you're a creator of problems.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
you know what I mean?
For example,
So you gotta
if you're right spiritually, meaning that, like you just said, you love yourself, and therefore you love others. When you do business, it's going to exude that same principle, because how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Right.
And so if I'm doing one thing in love, it's not just between me and my significant other. It's between me and my kids. It's between me and my employees. It's between me and my
How
colleagues.
you do anything is how you do everything.
How you do anything is how you do everything.
Everything. So
Yes.
that's important, because like the spirit behind the way that we cultivate relationships is really the core to our success.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, it is. And you know, I just learned how to really like look at myself on a daily basis and ask myself, how could I be better? Not just on the surface. We plan for everything, but we don't plan for our relationships. Like, we don't have a real plan for that. You know what I mean? Like, we got a business plan. You know, we got a career plan on what we want to do, how we want to accomplish it. But then when it comes to your family dynamics, because some of us have, like, I'm guilty. I've been married more than once. You know what I mean? And I have always been the best version of myself in that season. To be the best version of myself, I did the best I could. But then there was at some point where the season ended. And so I would like to think that even when it ended, I still ended it with integrity.
Yeah.
I was able to do it honorably, the best way I could, to make sure that both parties were good. I didn't just think about myself. And so I think that when you grow, even in those instances, it catapults you to another level of blessings that's waiting on you on another level.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's
The law of
important.
karma.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be able to love yourself enough to allow yourself to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And love yourself enough to allow yourself to forgive yourself, to be able to move forward, to learn and be better, to help someone else.
Yeah.
And I think that when you learn how to do that, then you can attract people that can respect that dynamic.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the law of attraction. If you're going to set your bar at that level, then you're going to find a match. You know, so I had a plan for my relationships. You know, and when they derail and don't go according to the plan, then I have a huddle meeting. Hey, let's huddle up. Let's talk about, you know, where it is. Every relationship that I've had, we've sat back and we've talked about benchmarks and stuff. Even in my marriage, what made it such a successful divorce, and I know that's not even a term, right, that we use, but
But it is, though.
Right. I had a successful divorce because we had a plan, you know, and we had an exit strategy plan as well. And we're still following that same plan.
So you talk about exit strategy. I love that. I love that term, because
Yeah.
I have a mentor he's a billionaire guy, and he you know, I used to always ask these questions, you know, and right now I'm even listening to this book called How to Ask Great Questions, right? Like, you got to learn how to ask the right questions. You can't just waste time with people that, you know, you're blessed to meet, and then they give you the tutorship and you don't even know what to ask. So I have to
Right.
ask the right questions. And I used to ask him all the time, man, like, what's the secret? You know what I'm saying? He's like, people are the secret. You know what I mean? It's like, relationships are the most important thing that we can cultivate and have in life. And a lot of times we take it for granted, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what we're talking about now. We got all these different dynamics. We got family, we got parents, we got friends, we got these women that we trying to find a way to cultivate as our wives, right? And you know, we'll talk about that later, but because everybody's not getting married anymore, but what that means to you might mean something different to me, which is cool. But the bottom line
We can
is,
talk about that too.
I've been trying to be a good husband since I was 19 years old. You feel what I'm saying? And here I am, 51, and I'm divorced. So when
does
you
that
look
mean
at
you was a bad person?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
That's my point. Like, you would think that, okay, this guy's failed in that area. I don't think I failed. I think that I've been very successful. I think I've had some.
Well, yeah, I think that nowadays, I don't even think it's more of a failure. a pass or fail thing. I think it's just that we hit the end of the road. This is where we are. This is where
But I'm not sugarcoating it either. Like you got when you have children involved, families have children involved, and it does affect the children. I just think there's a responsible way to move forward. And so you talk about exit strategy.
Yeah.
That's a term that I wish I had to learn when I was younger.
Yeah.
So when I talked to the mentor, he was like, people are the secret. He said, but always have 3 exit strategies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like 3? Like, why would I need 3? He said, because if you plan for something if it doesn't work out the way you wanted it to, or there's a disagreement involved, you have a plan, a contingency plan to make sure that everybody's still good. Mm-hmm. That is the most responsible thing you can do in the beginning of a relationship. So I'm like, you mean to tell me I can have a conversation with a woman up front and say, baby, if this don't work out, I want to make sure you got this in place. Yeah. To make sure you was better because you met me. You had this time with me.
Man,
that right there is where
that didn't occur to
most
you.
of us are. Yeah, it's not. Most of us are missing that.
So you have to have enough courage. So it's a gutsy conversation, but you got to have enough courage, and that's where it starts. But then I'm always a forward thinker. So of course, like you said, when you met me, I was 23 years old. And I probably was on a 35-year-old level or something at that point.
True that.
And so I was married at that time.
Right.
So me being close to my 40s in my mind, I was having that conversation with my ex-wife or my wife at the time.
There's a lot of guys that are not having that conversation with their woman. And a lot of times...
And we're so great because of that conversation. And I'm still abiding by what I told her I would do.
Right. You did a great job, by the way.
Appreciate it.
Great job.
Yeah, she's gonna be on the show soon.
That's gonna be great.
Yeah.
So I've always admired that about you and your ex-wife, man. It's been amazing to watch how you guys co-parent and how people could even figure out child when parents.
Yeah, it's
together,
crazy.
It's being separated.
Yeah, my daughter said that her senior year in high school, she was like, people still asking like, when your parents divorced? She's like, man, ever since you've been knowing me, they divorced when I was in 2nd grade.
Right.
Here it is, I'm a senior. You just asking me that.
But the love still continues.
The love still continues because it's just boundaries. We're not intimate no more. We're not sharing bank accounts. We're not living in the same house. Right. But we're teaching our kids the same things. Right. I say, hey, this is what we're learning in our house. Right. I remember when I didn't like the word hard. We don't use the word hard in this house over here. We use the word challenging. Right. So that's what I told the kids, okay? Right. Because challenge means that, have you let a challenge kill you or beat you out yet? No, sir. No, sir. Cool. So we're going to call them challenges because it's just a matter of time before we get over it.
Well, welcome to the second level of parenting, because when they turn 20 years old, you think that it's over with. It gets a little bit more enduring.
Oh, yeah, but this is the fun time, man. I'm having fun with my kids. Yeah. But the point I was making was that I told my ex-wife. And then okay, cool. So then she adopted that same thing in her household. Right. Why? Why did I implement something in my household and was able to dictate, so to speak, what she go over in her house? Why? Because we made an agreement that we were going to raise these kids a certain way, whether we were together or apart. Right. And that was part of the exit strategy.
Well, the spirit of something and the actual physical place of something can be 2 different things.
There it is.
You know what I mean? So that's beautiful.
Yeah, man. That's
beautiful. But yeah, man, I think that like this level where I'm at now of relationships in my life now is just all about cultivating those relationships that I've been able to be blessed to have. And how do I ask myself every day, how can I become better and be a better representative of what God called me to be? And I say that without using the religious version of it, because I think God is in all of us, right? But I think that we do have a responsibility.
So who is God to you?
I mean, God is the spirit that lives in me. And, but there is another spirit that lives in me at times as well. And so nobody wants to talk about it's not God.
Who was that?
I mean, they give it titles, give it names. I just say it's a bad spirit. You know what I mean? I don't like to give it names or titles, to be honest with you.
I don't believe there's 2 different spirits.
I do.
Yeah? Okay.
Do.
So there's there's a story, there's a parable that I heard, and it says that God had made everything that he had made in the universe, every animal, every insect, the planets, everything. And then he said he'll make a wife for his entertainment. And so his wife come along and she says, okay, I got to keep you entertained for the rest of your life. So we're going to play a game. And that game, you got to already agree that you're going to play it, okay? And he's like, okay, I agree. And so here's the rules of the game.
I know where you're going.
So, she ain't tricking. The rules of the game was, I'm gonna cut you up. The rules of the game was, I'm gonna have you create a species that will be so intelligent that it will be able to appreciate and dominate everything that you put on the earth. And I'm going to cut you into billions of pieces and cause you to forget who you are, place you into each and every one of these species, which we'll call humans. And I'm going to cause you to, again, forget who you are. And you're going to live many lifetimes trying to discover who you are. And when you do, you'll come back and you'll help other souls, other humans discover who they are.
Okay.
And so that depiction, of course, is a parable, right? So we know it's not true, but a parable is going to give you a segue into a heavenly meaning or a more theological meaning. And so at the end of the day, I believe that God is in us and he's experiencing himself through us. And so for those spirits that come across that aren't in alignment with your higher self, that's just what it is. It's not an evil spirit. It's just a low vibrational
I said
thought.
bad spirit. I ain't say evil.
Or bad. It's not opposite.
I said bad. It is opposite.
Bad. Okay.
It is.
I'm just saying what I believe. I believe that we are both. We are but who we come out to be is the person that that chooses whatever thought come across. I am not my thoughts.
Right.
If I was my thought, I couldn't think them. How can I think myself? So, but at the same time, the same spirit, because here's what I do. Somebody asked me, one of my friends asked me.
You say you are not your thoughts?
Yeah, you're not your thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said
you are what you do with your thoughts.
You said if you were your thoughts, how could you think them?
Yeah.
Because you're your thoughts.
Nah. Whatever, man. He tripping. He having too much.
Hey, I mean, I guess my brain works a little bit different from yours.
Yeah. Okay. So if you are this body, how can you see this body? You're more than this body. You would agree with that.
I would agree with that all day long.
So yeah. So thoughts just come across because it's information. Now, once you grab a thought and you work on it and you dispose of it within you, you act on it, in other words, then you are that thought. That thought was manifested.
I own it at that point.
Right, but you don't own.
I am.
But you don't own the thoughts that come across. You own the ones that you pick.
Now you word playing on me.
No.
I'm checking you out. Yeah.
No. Well, no. What I'm saying. Okay, so picture some thoughts coming. Right, it's just good thoughts, bad thoughts. Okay.
Good thoughts, bad thoughts.
Look at this motherfucker over here. Goddamn it.
Good thoughts,
and then,
bad thoughts.
okay, I can change the world with this type of program.
They're not mine.
They're not yours. They're thoughts. You grab one of them and you work on it. You say, so you're going to choose to change the world.
Right.
So what type of courses do I need to create to change the world? Let me work on that. Let me unpack that. Now that thought became you. You manifested from that
like
thought.
the way you put that, because I got to agree with you right there.
Right.
But I don't agree with it not being a good or bad spirit.
Okay. So, but right now we're not talking about that. We're talking about your thoughts. Or not your thoughts.
I agree with that.
So that's why your thoughts are not your thoughts. The thought that you digest becomes you.
Got you.
I can have all kind of temptation all across.
So initially, they're not your thoughts, but they become your thoughts.
Right.
I get it.
And so having said that, God is experiencing himself through you. When you pick a low vibrational thought, God is still with you.
Right.
When you pick a high vibrational thought, he's still with you.
Right.
It's the same, for me, it's the same spirit. But anyway.
Great teaching moment. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I can learn from young people, see.
That's what we do. You've been learning from me since the first time you met me. Boy, what's wrong with you?
Every day.
And I've been learning from you. One thing about it, and I wanted to say this earlier. Look at my handkerchief. Let me fix this wardrobe. Bam. Let me do that right there. You see that? The secret is not care. Pull it out a little bit more.
That's it.
Good. So yeah, man. One of the things you taught me though back in the day, you said that I inspired you to become a millionaire. I inspired you to go harder and go bigger because of how young I was doing it. Man, you taught me how to spend money because I was making it, and I was like
holding on to it.
Yeah, man. And you were like, man, because of you, I would go into Nordstrom's at the Galleria. And get my shoes shine, sit up there and get my shoes shine.
Yeah.
Buy me some, a shirt or something. This was every Friday. Get a massage, and sit back and just bask in the week that I had created.
Right.
And so, man,
I do that every day. Like I find something to do to celebrate my day every day. Like it don't make any sense to have heaven on earth and not to be able to enjoy any of it. It don't make any sense to me. So I've always been a person that worked hard, but I always had to reward myself
Yeah.
to make sure I teach others how to treat me
Yeah.
and rewarding me.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
I'm always
I
gonna
learned that
have,
from you.
Yeah, the best treatment.
Yeah.
Man.
I learned that from you,
You
bro.
deserve it, brother.
I take a vacation every 30 days.
Absolutely.
You know?
Every 2 weeks soon.
I know. My producer, he just got done talking noise to me yesterday. He was like, bro, you've been somewhere 3 times this month. Yeah, I've been home like 4 days this whole
You
month.
may be telling yourself it's every month, but no, it's every 2 weeks.
It's every 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's
okay.
every 2 weeks.
But hey, I deserve it. Because
Absolutely, you deserve it.
Yeah, man. Well, man, thank you so much, man, for coming and just speaking like we normally do, but just in front of the camera, in front of the podcast.
But I know it's not perfect what we're saying, but we just keeping it real with ourselves.
We just keeping it 100.
And we're going to keep it real with you. So
Yeah.
we appreciate you guys tuning in. And, hey, man, share it with somebody.
Absolutely. On the way out, I'm going to have you to talk to that younger version of yourself, okay?
Okay.
What would you tell that younger version of yourself? You could pick an age range. I would probably say about 25 to 30-year-old, or maybe you want to talk to your 18 to 20-year-old self. Whatever that is, tell me the age and then give yourself that advice.
21.
Okay.
All right. I would say that the time that you have left, we don't know what it is. So value each moment, each minute, each second, and make love to each moment. And whatever that means to you, versus relationships, make sure that your relationships are aligned with truth, with honor, and integrity. I think that a lot of times we have to do that within ourselves first to be able to attract that. So when someone shows up that's not exuding those type of attributes, it only means that you're not aligned. So get yourself in line. Always check yourself. And don't look at everybody else, because everything starts within yourself. And trust God in everything that you do.
I love that. But man, I appreciate you, bro.
My pleasure, man. Love you too, man.
Sir.
All right, brother.
All right. Because we made an agreement that we were going to raise these kids a certain way, whether we were together or apart.